Alright, got both links shared. Let's get rolling into this. Is the second half of that case of Bowman draft. We will have more Bowman draft with the weather. I'm not sure when it's going to get here, but there will be another. There will be another case of it, though. Or another couple cases of it. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to break it, but or if we're going to break them or not. Alright, good luck to everybody. And we have Kyson Witherspoon, JT Quinn, Janik, Thompson, Deneau, Kilby, Waldschmidt, Kepley, Weatherholt, Harmon, and Salas. Going to the Red Sox and Will Yunkin. So having pretty decent success this one. This case, we have Morris, Tait, Cunningham, Hartshorn, Level, Gray, Reimer, Charlie Condon, Castillo, and Jeremy Arnold. Or Jamie Arnold, my bad, not Jeremy Arnold. We have Sean Gamble on the Aqua Reptilian, Riley, Weatherholt, Crossland, Dickerson, McGonigal, Lombard. We have Bazana, Cunningham, LaGrange, and Riley Kelly. Case and Cunningham on the Sky Blue Chrome. Charlie Condon here. That's going to be Sean Gamble for the Royals. Yainson, Pena, Millar, Griffin, Ledesi, Soroka, Curley, Parker, Yaman, Connor Griffin. And we're going to get some sky blue paper here, but I can get it out behind this can. It's going to be Blake Mitchell for the Royals. We have Doyle, Cousteau, Williams, Salas, Mayfield, Melendez, Moore, Quentin Young, Ricardo, Millar. Steele Hall, Gray, Mitchell, Boner, Harmon, Made, Lampkin, Fiend, Kent, and Fouch. I don't think it's going to snow that much, to be honest, man. I'm actually going to post a leaf. Probably a leaf. I think I was looking at it the other day. I think I got like a 2024 leaf metal that says Skeens in it. I might post that. Give it a couple days to fill. But if it fills tonight, I'll come back and break it. Or if it fills tomorrow, I'll drive the truck out over here. We got Tanner Franklin. A steel plate out of 100 for the Cardinals. We have Syme, Walcott, Peters, Morales, Piacenton, Irish, Maldonado, Killen, Reimer, Williams. We have Tate Salcine. I forget, where do you live at, Nick? We have Curley, Spencer Jones, Jimenez, Gonzalez, Yaman, LaGrange, Carlson, Congdon, Gray, and Cuso. Got Gray, Quintero, Cohen, Benji, Ricardo, Sneed, Sloan, McConicle, Level, and Doyle. Cash Mayfield on the Yellow Reptilian. Nick Becker for the Mariners on the refractor. Oh, yeah, the storm, I think, is going a little bit more south. That's a second round pick on the Becker out of $4.99. Going to go to John Parrish. Cash Mayfield. Weidman, Valdez, Walton, Max Clark, Neville. Castillo, Kent, Salas, Sloan, Guzman. We have Patrick Forbes for the Diamondbacks on the base autograph. Yep, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to price it out. I'm going to go look at the checklist and go price it out. We got Ebel, Guzman, Arnold, Fouch, Gurvich, Lombard Jr., Schubart, Willits, Lampkin, Pena. We have Middleton, Morey, Quick, Slade Caldwell, Montgomery, Hedges, Thomas White, Made, and Ayason. And that's going to be the first box of this break. So a couple cases from when we moved over to the shop that I just kind of like, I don't know if in storage is the right word or not. Just didn't really see them. There has not been any White Sox yet. We're only the first box in here. The second box, we have Cameron Nelson on the checkerboard. Forbes, Turley, Nayens, Wing, Hodge, Rodriguez, Flores, Hall, Barr, and Dano. Phillips, Miori, Conrad, Harvey, Compton, Ritchie, Gamble. Then we have Killen, Shores, and Peters. And sorry about last night. I worked probably 60 hours this week. I was going to say, there's some stuff that need to get done because of the snowstorm that I want to make sure got done. Well, not make sure that I had to get done. We have McKenzie on the blue paper, Walton, Cody Miller, Fedoric, Jordan, Youngman, Obermueller, Condon, Tait on the sky blue, Neville, Ebel. Originally, we were supposed to get like 24 inches of snow, and that's obviously not going to happen anymore. So, kind of did all that. I kind of worked all this whole week for like no reason, because I can't even like get overtime. It's just like they do it based off a pay period. Aaron Walton for the Guardians. So like next Friday I might have off on the Aqua Wave, but that's about like the only thing I get the benefit out of it. Yeah, Briggs McKenzie. I mean, obviously there was snow. You don't have to take PTO or whatever for the snow, but I don't think we're gonna get enough snow to where I can't get into work on Monday. We got South Cine, Dickerson, Cook, Pena, Fiend, Barr, Anderson, McGonigal, Condon, Caldwell. Get a lime green paper here at Dax Kilby. I guess it's just a green paper. It's not lime green. Look lime green at first. It's just faded. Going to the Yankees. It's their first round pick, right? Yeah. Sorry, I knew he was in the later. I thought 39th was in the second round. We have Ellswanger, Celestin, Killen, Escope, Caminetti, Ola. And look at how off-center this is. Look, you get a second guy for bonus. We have Lugo, Willits, Obermueller, Quick. We have Bremner, Selena, Slowinski, Pratt, Willits. Lies. Man, this was a whole bad cut sheet. Wood. We have Ike Irish, Caminetti, and Morales. Looks like someone took their nails to it. Right there. Kind of crazy. This is the first that I've seen where like the quality has not been good when it comes to being cut, or like at least decently centered just to the naked eye while flipping through it. Oh, we have, I can't think of what these are called right now. Oh, the crystallized for the Blue Jays, and that's going to be JoJo Parker. Go to Mark Cimarelli. JoJo Parker crystallized. Steel Hall on the blue out of 150. For the Reds. AJ Russell, Tibbs, Voigt, Troy, Mitchell, Hugas, Cunningham, Carlson, Fiend on the refractor. Thompson. Next autograph is going to be Trevor Cohen. True purple going to go to the Giants and Brian Thomas. Get some color up there on the board. We got Fritton, Sakura, McKenzie, Kuroda, Grauer, Becker, Smith, and Franklin. Ebel, Lugo, Janik. Just randomly an Arshu Nimala flipped over backwards. Morrison, Nori, Jacobs, Stafora, Richardson, Davalin, White, Gonzalez, Olivito. And then JT Quinn. We're going to have Dean Moss on the base autograph for the Rays. Got Fleming, Rojas, Root, JD Dix, Braceno, Witherspoon, Thomas, Ike Irish, Wiggins, and Walcott. We have Steel Hall for the Reds on the base auto. Chad Wessler. Yeah, Michael, Jenkins, Frey, Escobar, Young, Wiggins, Shores. We have Jamie Arnold, Youngerman, Maury. JoJo Parker, Aiden West, Devin Taylor, Bradfield Jr., Formella, McConaughey, Nimala, Kilby, Anderson, and Middleton. Alright, we got Theo Gillen on the green, Watson on the checkerboard, Ebel, Guzman, Arnold, Fouch, Richardson, DeValin. White, we have Nayans, Livingston, Episcope. And we have Murph, Gray, Quintero, Cohen, Benji, Monroe, and Gillen. Aaron Watson on the X-Fractor. We got Theo Gillen on the green. We have Livingston. We have Jamie Arnold, Riggio, Frey. What do you mean by, like, we have Hartshorn? So we get allocation for the shop. We have Hartshorn on the blue, Fleming, Rojas, Root, J.D. Dix, Young, Wiggins, Shores, Gamble, Jared Thomas, Cody Miller. They talked about doing like a prospect program like they do for the card shops to get the breaker account back. But if one of the requirements is to be on Fanatics Live, I'm not doing it. I was going to say, I looked at the books and waste is not the right word, but I invested about $75,000 into bringing in 2 breakers, and we have Hartshorn. And when I say invested, like, that's how much their salary, setting everything up. Actually, probably a little bit more than that. Probably like $85,000. Invested in, like, the having 2 break rooms, having all the cameras, all the monitors, paying their salary to run on Fanatics Live, and all that other junk. I probably got, all in all in that investment, based on the amount of product they sold, I probably ended up losing about like $40,000. I'm not doing that again to get a maybe. If I'm being 100% honest. Like, it would have to be a guarantee that they're going to give me a full account. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money a second time to invest to meet all their standards and be told to go fuck myself. I'm just not doing it. We have Sailors, Brecht, Owens, Culpepper, Farmello, McConaughey, Nimala, Jamie Arnold, Witherspoon, Pena. We have JT Quinn on the sky blue paper. It would have got really nasty from a social media standpoint if they didn't upgrade my shop account to an MVP account, because Riley Kelly, Weatherholt, Crossland, Dickerson, Hodge, Rodriguez, Flores, Killen, Braceno, Jamie Cook. It'd look really bad to just kind of force a disabled veteran to have to declare bankruptcy because you fucked him over without any notice for him to plan his business accordingly. Curley, Spencer Jones, Jimenez, Gonzalez, Lorenzo, Dean Moss, Braceno, Willits, Spoker, and Escobar. Because if you think about it, like, to send a text message, and I can go look it up, I believe it was either like December 13th or December 17th, one of the two. Like, in the middle of the month, to send a text message saying, hey, we need to talk, from the head person of the break program, to then be told 2 hours later that we're no longer going to cover you starting 2026, and anything we've allocated to you, you'll still get. Anything after that, you're on your own, is not the way to handle business. And I'm assuming they did it to more than just me. I just don't have the monetary means to be an asshole and fight it in court and just to make myself feel better, if that makes sense. Because it'd be a losing battle. Like, I don't have the funds to compete with Fanatics, $1 billion company, period. So I would lose the lawsuit. But I'm sure there's some sort of lawsuit to be had. We have Boker, Moss, Jimenez, Curley, Cook, Flores, Hodge, Crossland, Kelly, Witherspoon, McConaughey, Owens, Nailers, Miller, Shores, Young, Root, Fleming, Frey, Livingston, Monroe, Cohen, Gray, Episcope, Livingston, DeValin, Richardson. This is all just first. I pulled off that I was put in a pile because I got distracted. Sorry about that. I was like, I already think I read these. I was like, why is there a first after first after first and no paper? I was going to say, we have Ethan Hedges, On the purple, Middleton, Morey, Quick, Caldwell, Willits, Lays, Wood, Anderson, Gillen, and Killen. We have another Trevor Cohen. Base auto for the Giants. But yeah, it's just one of those things, like, plus, like, their requirements are like 45 hours on Fanatics Live. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm just, like I said, I'm just gonna start running Whatnot at night and for like 3 or 4 nights a week, and I'll break some stuff on there that doesn't sell well in the shop. Like, we get it, like, because of the Fanatics Live thing and expecting to have a bunch of football and stuff to break, I didn't sign a deal necessarily with Wildcard, but I got, like, in with Wildcard as the owner for something for Mike to break when he's, like, just to rip personals and stuff and, like, single packs or whatever when he's waiting for breaks to fill. So there's not a bunch of, like, dead time of him just bullshitting around. We have JT Quinn, Janik, Thompson, Deneau, Ritchie, Gamble, LaCourse, Vaught, Monroe, Celestin. So I still got to move that stuff somehow. But we have Syme, Walcott, Peters, Morales, Witherspoon, Thomas, Compton, DeFreeze again, and Elwanger. J.D. Thompson. But yeah, I don't know if they would have wanted the bad publicity of, like I said, cutting out a 100% disabled veterans small business and essentially, I mean, I don't know if I would have had to. It would have been hard not to have, but I probably would have had to fire everybody in the shop and probably declare bankruptcy because I would have had to have quit my regular job to work the shop because I'm stuck in a lease for another 4 years based on the advice of Topps saying, hey, like, we need you to do these things. So when you make business decisions based off of whoever your supplier of everything is, I'm sure there's some sort of, like, legal action I could have taken about the whole situation. We have Steele Hall, Gray, Mitchell, Bomer, Riggio, Boker, DeFreeze, Carlson, Reed, Jenkins. Just the way everything works in the back end, it's not worth my time for a maybe. We got Devin Taylor in the Athletics out of $4.99 on the refractor. But yeah, I mean, the biggest reason we moved to the shop, or at least I was going to move the shop regardless because we needed more space for the shop. But the reason I moved to this particular thing, got a 3,000 square foot space and designed the way it is and not just like one big square, which would be like more ideal for a shop and had rooms, was for the breaking aspect of it. So like a lot of the decisions I made was based off of essentially a business relationship and partnership with Topps. That's what they call it, a partnership. But when you have a partner, you don't just go fuck your partner over with 2 weeks' notice either. Like, that's not really how a real partnership works. We have Ayenson, Pena, Millar, Griffin, Mitchell, Hughes, Cunningham, Salsine, and Dean Moss. And then if they would have asked, like, they would have had a reason, I think, like an actual reason about why they cut you rather than, oh, yeah, you just didn't do as good without telling us why we didn't do good enough or whatever, because they never provided that information either. We have Dickerson. I asked, they're like, yeah, like, we're just trying to, like, pretty much consolidate and just have the big breakers break, was, like, the reasoning I got. We have Doyle, Cousseau, Williams, Salas, Becker, Smith, Franklin, Bazana, Lorenzo, and Salsine. So, yeah, just one of those things where it's unfortunate, but I'm just happy they gave me the shop account so I didn't have to go the other route. But it's like, it's not necessarily like way less product because like I got more Series 1 than I've gotten in the break program before. But like, well, that's not even a lie because I would have got just not as much Bowman draft, but I would have got a decent amount of Bowman draft too. I just didn't have the shop account wasn't upgraded yet for Bowman draft. But there's products like Pristine or like Gilded where I get significantly less. Like we only have one case of Gilded, so I probably can break that. I think it's a 4-box case now, so I'll probably put that maybe a box or two in mixers, but like I'm not going to be able to break like cases of it or like a bunch of mixers of it. Where like previous years I get like 3 or 4 cases of it. So it's like I don't think there'll be a class action because I think the problem is that Fanatics kind of has everybody by the balls, right? So like, and we can talk about it more offline because I don't want to get into like too many details on camera just because it's recorded. about like how everything works, but there's really like, because I have the shop account, if I go and say something about Fanatics, right, like they could just be like, all right, well, you no longer have a shop account because we're in a lawsuit with you, kind of like how the NFL blackballed Brian Flores, right? So there's a lot of shops that were also in the same predicament I was with the breaking account, but they already had MVP shop accounts. So they just kind of bit their tongue and didn't even say they got kicked out of the program because, like, they don't want to lose their livelihood. You would need someone to be like me that, like, doesn't need sports cards. Like, obviously I love it. It's a hobby. Like, that's the biggest reason I started the shop. Like, I never started breaking or whatever else to be, like, a millionaire, to be, like, super rich, or be wealthy off of sports cards. You'd have to get somebody like me that's willing to just, like, martyrdom themselves. Now, if I was in a situation where it was just me running the shop in the breaks and I didn't have 5 employees that rely on a salary, one who has a kid, the other one helps support his family and stuff that has disabilities, like, I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't want to fuck them over. Like, I don't give a shit about myself. Like, I'll land on my feet. I'm not about to fuck over my employees, which is, like, was my biggest concern about the whole situation, was I didn't want to fuck over the guys that have rode with me for 2 years trying to build this up, to fuck them over because now they don't have a job and they gotta go find employment because of something I did. So it's like one of those things where I was just like trust me, there was a few things I would have did a little bit differently if it was just me. We have Travis Bazzana. We have Carmichael, Jenkins, Frey, Escobar, Arias, Codine, Nelson, Weatherholt, Petrie, and Wing. We have Morrison, Nori, Jacobs, Stafora, Hedges. I did lose a couple friends, though, because whenever I said there was at least 3 different people I asked if they could hook me up with some Bowman draft. And all 3 of them are people that I have vouched for in more than one time for different things. And all of them told me, no, we don't have any extra. All of them got unfriended. And one of them hit me up the other day and said, hey, did you ever get anything worked out with your store? I just ignored him. I left them on red. Thomas White, Gurovich, George Lombard Jr., Cone, Voigt. I'm a very much like Celestin on the fuchsia. Oh my god, fuchsia lizard skin bowl. Fucking whatever. The reptilian. We have Morris, Tait, Cunningham, Hartshorn, Bellew, Coe, Reed, and J.R. Ritchie. Coe, Carmichael. I'm very much a person, like, if we're friends and you need something, like, I'll do everything in my power to try to help you out or whatever else, but once that bridge is burned, like, there's only one person I ever let back in my life that has done some fucked up shit to me when it comes to that stuff, and that's literally the guy that was the best man at my wedding, and the only reason why is because I know he was going through it with some mental health shit. We have Celestin. It wasn't a position of, like, you're no longer useful to me. It was a position of he didn't want to talk about his problem, so I let it go. But it took me about 6 months. But I was going to say, I'm going to have Lombard Jr. And the relationship's still not the same, but Weidman, Valdez, Walton, Max Clark, George, Dizerwa, Lewis, Parker, Bellew, and Bradfield Jr. Bryce Cunningham on the sky blue paper, Miller, Fedoric, Jordan, Hammond, Fisher, Petrie, Young, Lewis, and Taylor. I grew up with the philosophy of if I'm eating and I can feed other people, everybody's eating. It's not a Joey got to be greedy and get everything and everybody else got to watch him be successful. Like, that's just not how my mentality is as a person. We have Freeton, Sakura, McKenzie, Kuroda Grauer, Lombard Jr., Schubart, Mayfield, Fiend, Yost, and Tommy Troy. Man, this case was nowhere near even as good as that one box. We'll see how this ends, but I had a couple case hits in it, though, so I will say that. We're going to have Caden Bodine out of 250. The DeFreeze on the Sparkle, Parker, Aiden West, Taylor, Bradfield Jr., Lombard, Bazzana. We have Watson, Killen, Fisher, Nayans. And we're going to have another Cade Kepley. This man's been all over this case. Cade Kepley on the yellow Reptilian, and then we're going to have Max Bellew on the base autograph. Oh, trust me, I know. But I'm gonna stop there and bite my tongue about the rest of the thing. Otherwise, it's gonna turn into more of a political talk that I don't want to get into right now. Because I think that has a lot to. I think the reason why people are the way that they are has a lot to do with social media and the way that some of the leadership in this country is being ran. We have Forbes, Turley, Nayans, Wing, Sirota, Curley, McGonigal, Congdon, Hammond, Turley, and I think a lot of it has to do with like MSM, like mass media companies. AJ Russell, Tibbs III, Voigt, Troy, Melendez, Moore, Ledesi, McGonigal, Davis, and Forbes. I think they try to pit a lot of people against each other and can't even get the facts straight. We have Jordan Yost. I mean, just whether I'm not going to get into too much about the shooting with ICE, but even just the biggest thing I'll use is the 5-year-old kid that was misreported news-wise that ICE kidnapped a 5-year-old kid. Like, whether you agree with ICE or not agree with ICE, like the fact that the story was spun like that whether the parents should have been arrested, not arrested, I don't get any of that shit because I really don't give a shit. Just the fact, like, it's just a prime example about how the news can twist shit and pit people against each other. Because I think everybody can agree that the 5-year-old just being taken in by ICE in the snow and stuff is what should have been done. Whether or not his dad should have been, I don't know anything about his dad, and I really don't give a shit because I haven't looked into the story. We have Bremner, Selena, Slowinski, Pratt, Waldschmidt, Kepley, Montgomery, and Salas, Hernandez, and Tibbs III. That's just a prime example of like just a flat-out lie. Tyler Bremner for the Angels top 5 pick. Going to Nicholas Vitale. So much so that like ABC and CBS News is trying to like retract their statement and be like, we got false reporting. Salcine, Dickerson, Cook, Pena, Cone, Yost, Gabe Davis, Voigt, Diersdawa, West, Elwanger, Celestin, Killen, Episcope, Witherspoon, Essenberg, Hernandez, Mate, George, and Parker. Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah. The biggest problem with everything is their intelligence ICE's intelligence is terrible. As in, like, what the information they're taking in is not the most accurate information. So the problem is there's people that are getting arrested and detained that shouldn't be, but the information is lacking. As in, like, it's lagging behind of what it should be. So that's what happens is people that shouldn't be getting detained and arrested get caught up with the people that should be. And then it causes a problem because the people that get arrested that shouldn't be, like, obviously they shouldn't be. So it's a problem. You shouldn't be arresting people that, or detaining people that shouldn't be detained. Like, ones that are citizens, ones that are doing the right thing. And that's the problem is, like, it's really hard to get accurate intel. And they got to fix that problem somehow. And I don't know how to do that because I'm not part of their agency. I don't know how their intel works, but clearly they're having poor intel because there's more than one person that's getting picked up. And then there's just so much misinformation with stuff. I know that there's people that are in the group that have had friends that have been detained and that should not have been detained because they've changed their life or whatever else, but the agency had old intel. Like, that shit can't happen because that's also bad, right? You can't just go in there guns a-blazing without proper intel, because that's how innocent people get hurt too. So it's like they got to fix something, but like at the same time, like people also have to follow laws. It's like it's a rough and a hard place or whatever. So it's like one of those things where like it's just a sticky situation, and that's just where I'm gonna stick at it with. It's not an easy job either for the people that are doing it. I don't think any law enforcement or military is necessarily easy. Here's the 4 in action, because a lot of the stuff you're acting on intelligence, and I mean, I worked in the intelligence community for a long time and still do. We have Bowman on the access, and I'll just let you know that there is definitely some intelligence sometimes that gets misconstrued or is not ends up being inaccurate, that is acted upon. And I mean, I knew that firsthand with Barack Obama. Obviously, I was not in the military or doing any type of active missions like that. When Biden or Trump were in office, I was already out of the military by the time Trump had got into office. Actually, no. Was he was there the last year I was there, wasn't he? No, he was there the last year. All right, that's a lie. I know, Steve. I know you're fucking around. I was gonna say, we have DeFreeze. On the Sparkle. The problem, and the big thing too, is some of the people that are getting injured or whatever are U.S. citizens that are either protesting or in the way because the intelligence is bad or whatever else, and that's problematic in itself. Like I said, there has to be a better way for rules of engagement, but like I said, it's not my agency. I don't know what their actual rules are. We have Kepley on the yellow reptilian. We have Cunningham on the sky blue paper. Celestin on the purple reptilian. We have Ritchie on the sky blue chrome. Bazana on the X-Fractor. Cunningham on the sky blue chrome. We have the sky blue paper Quinn. Hartshorn on the blue refractor, or on the blue chrome. We're going to have Sean Gamble on the aqua chrome. On the sky blue chrome, I mean, we have Gillen on the green chrome. Watson on the X-Fractor. We have Hall on the blue chrome. We have Daxby on the green paper. Nelson on the X-Fractor. McKenzie on the blue paper. Tait on the sky blue chrome. And Cash Mayfield on the yellow reptilian. We're going to have... See, my biggest issue is I think that the hate or whatever is like they're not, and I've explained this to more than one person, is the people that the actual agents on the ground are not just randomly like, oh, like let's go chase down people that are brown or yellow or white or purple or black or whatever else. They're getting intelligence from somebody, and they're doing everything that they're supposed to do based off of the intelligence, and by intelligence I mean like information that they're getting. So they're basing everything off of the intelligence that they are receiving. Now, if the intelligence or the information they're receiving is bad, then that, I mean, yes, like, it's just like, I'll use an analogy here, and maybe they'll help explain a little bit better for people that not quite understanding what I'm getting at, because I know there's a couple people, even when I have discussions, like, with friends outside of sports cards, like, in person, they don't quite understand. It would be like, all right, so the X-Fractor situation, I'm going to use one that's like a big one that Topps even announced, right? So on the box... on the box of NBA Chrome, let me finish doing this thing and I'll do a whole explanation because I want to make sure I say this exactly perfect. We have Blake Mitchell on the sky blue paper. We have the purple Hedges on the Chrome. Weatherspoon on the X-Fractor. Gamble on the aqua reptilian. Franklin on the steel plate. The Aqua Wave Walton. We have Thomas on the base autograph. Bellew on the base autograph. Cohen on the base. Hall on the base. Forbes on the base. Becker on the refractor. Dean Moss on the base. Yost on the base. Salcene on the base. Bremner on the base. Devin Taylor on the refractor. Cohen on the purple. And then we have the crystallized JoJo Parker. So I'll use an example. So NBA, so Topps Chrome NBA Megas came out, right? On the box, they say there should be a blue X-Fractor refractor in the boxes. Like, they're rare or not rare. I can't remember exactly what the wording says. There are no blue X-Fractors. It is a misprint of information. So the intelligence that's out there for the customer and for the card shop, and in this case, the card shop, as in me, would be ICE. I'm going to the customer and saying, hey, and the customer in this situation would be the public, right? And Topps would be like ICE's intel or leadership or whoever is running the ops. So Topps tells me and says, hey, man, there's these blue fucking X-Fractors in here. Push these blue X-Fractors to your customers. Well, you've sold 80 boxes, and there hasn't been a single blue X-Fractor in any of the boxes. So now you look like an asshole that is pushing a blue X-Fractor that is not even there. And who's going to get the blame? Is it going to be Topps or the card shop? If Topps doesn't come out and give a statement, the card shop's the one getting shit, right? Like, Another example would be the other day someone opened a hobby box, took it home, opened a hobby box of Topps Chrome Baseball, had no autograph in it. He called me and cussed me out and said he wanted a refund because the box says there's a guaranteed autograph in there, and there was no guaranteed autograph, there wasn't a redemption, there wasn't fuck all in there of anything that was autograph significant. But I'm the one that gets the blame because I'm the one that's doing the operation. I'm the one that's handling the customer. I'm the one that's in the public face. It's the same situation. For anybody that owns a business, they would, maybe that analogy in general would make sense, or anybody that works in customer service or deals with customers on a regular basis. Like, if you get bad information and it's really the back end or the company's fault, or whoever like is providing information to you, which in this case would be Topps, your supplier, distributor, whoever, and information ends up being false, and you're going over there spreading false information based off what you were told, or doing an action that's not how it's supposed to be done because you were given bad information. Like, that's the part that I don't like the most, is because I don't think that naturally like the ICE agents are just evil assholes. Just like I don't think most cops are around just profiling and trying to kill people of color or whatever else. Like, if you get bad intelligence, that's part of the problem. And I think people don't ever look at it from that aspect. And the only reason I probably even look at it from that aspect is because I've been on the side where I've seen bad intelligence. I've seen shit go completely sideways based off of intelligence that have been gathered that is just bad. Like, it was just like all around, like that's not what it ended up being. Like, the intelligence was bad and stuff happened and there was people that shouldn't have been there or weren't there or whatever else, and bad things happened to them. Like, that's just like how it can happen. Now there's obviously different instances where like I think the whole shit with the lady with whatever, like I think both people are 100% at fault. Like, I don't think that's a full like find around or fuck around and find out situation. Like, I think both people there are at fault. I do think the ICE agent was probably a little trigger happy, and I do think that the lady was not where she should have been. She should have been in her fucking house or at work or whatever else. Like, you shouldn't be blocking the road, period. Like, so I think they're just both at fault, but that's a whole different story if anybody ever wants to get into that situation. That's just my opinion about it. I think that both people are at fault. What happened to her, I don't ever want to see anybody lose their life ever. Like, nobody wants that. But I'm going to head out of here. Leaf, let's see what's over here. What I'm going to post is going to be a jumbo case of 2024 Leaf Metal Baseball. I'll price it out, give a little price preview. It probably won't drop till like 8 or 8:30 at night, Eastern Standard Time. So it'll be a later drop because I'm going to have to price out when the kids go to bed. Because I think we're going to go swimming at the YMCA before it starts to storm, because Joseph and Lily been asking about the YMCA and swimming or whatever, and they have like indoor pool. But yeah, I'm going to head out. You guys have a good day. If you ever want to talk to me about anything that's not Carter related, by all means, I'll give you my opinion. Just don't hate me. We're both allowed to have opinions. They can both be equally fucking terrible. I was going to say, yeah, you guys have a good day. Be safe. You guys need anything, let me know. Also, if you are going to get, like, just effed in the A by this snowstorm, like, actually be safe. Don't be fucking Superman and think you can drive through 3 feet of snow, especially if you're, like, below the Mason-Dixon line, because I know you motherfuckers can't drive in the snow. Like, don't pretend you're from Minnesota or North Dakota or something where they get snow, because you're like, oh, it's just a little bit of snow, and next thing you know, I fucking see you on a 6 o'clock news doing 720s with your car into the back of a tree. All right? None of that craziness. Stay in your house if you've never driven in the snow before. You don't have 4-wheel drive. Anyways, you have a good day. Be safe. Hopefully, I'll see you later for Leaf. I don't doubt the Leaf snap fills. If it does snap fill, we'll break that tomorrow.